morning one and all. Today we are going to discuss about the law of equimarginal utility. Wants are competitive, therefore choice is to be made between the more urgent and less urgent wants. When a consumer waits in mind whether to purchase more or less of a commodity, it means he is going to try to balance the marginal utility of the commodity and that of the money. Every person wants to make best out of his resources. Likewise, every consumer wants to make or wants to maximize the satisfaction. The law of equimarginal utility is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. According to Alfred Marshall, the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase of a stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. This means when a consumer consumes more and more of a commodity, the intensity of the desire for the thing tends to diminish. He becomes gradually indifferent. So when a consumer consumes more and more of a commodity, the marginal utility from the successive units of the commodity consumes goes on declining. So according to Professor Boulding, when we take into account of the law of diminishing marginal utility, as a consumer increases the consumption of any one commodity, keeping constant the consumption of all other commodity, the marginal utility of the variable commodity must eventually decline. This law of equimarginal utility is based, it depends on the law of diminishing marginal utility. When we take into account of the definition has been propounded by Alfred Marshall. But at first the idea of the law of equimarginal utility is concerned with the famous economist H.S. Gosson. His law was called as the Gosson's second law. So the Alfred Marshall, in his famous book called as the Principle of Economics, has given a significant refinement of the law, which is famously called as the law of equimarginal utility. According to Alfred Marshall, if a person has a thing which he can put to several uses, he will distribute it among these users in such a way that it has the same marginal utility in all. If it had a greater marginal utility in one use than another, he would gain by taking away some of it from the second use and applying it to the first. So if a person has a thing means the money. The money is as resources. The money can be put to different uses. So if a person has a thing that is money which can put to several uses, he is going to allocate among the 2 or 3 commodities in such a manner that the marginal utility should be equal. So based on this, he has defined as if a person has a thing which he can put to several users, he will distribute it among these users in such a way that it has the same marginal utility in all. If it had a greater marginal utility in one use than another, he would gain by taking away some of it from the second use and applying it to the first. So this theory, this law is otherwise called as the law of substitution, or the law of maximum satisfaction, or the principle of proportionality between the prices and the marginal utility. The utility is the want-satisfying power of a commodity or the power of a commodity to satisfy the human wants. So Marshall says that utility can be measured, but by means of indirectly. So how much a consumer is prepared to sacrifice, how much a consumer is prepared to pay the price for a particular commodity which he desires to purchase, speaks about the utility. So here from the table it is clear that there are 2 kinds of commodity. For example, X and Y commodity. Here there are 10 units of X commodity and 10 units of Y commodity. So here the utils is 50 utils. This means when a consumer consumes the first unit of X commodity, let us assume as mango. Let us assume the Y commodity as orange. So when a consumer consumes the first unit of Y commodity, mango, he may derive 50 utils. If he prefers the same commodity, the second unit of Y, he may derive 45 utils. If he consumes the third unit, if he prefers the third unit of Y, he may be preferring 40. So when he goes on consuming, as because of the operation of the diminishing marginal utility, the marginal utility goes on declining. So from starting 50 utils, 45, 40 utils, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. If the consumer prefers the 10th unit of the X commodity, he may derive only 5 utils. So this is because of the operation of the law of diminishing marginal utility. As far as the Y commodity is concerned, as far as the orange is concerned, when a consumer finds the first Y commodity orange, he may derive only. From the table it is clear that when a consumer consumes the first unit of X commodity, the total utils which he may derive is 50. When he consumes the second unit of X commodity, 45 utils. When he consumes the third unit of X commodity, he may derive only 40. So when a consumer consumes more and more of commodity X, the marginal utility goes on declining. If the consumer consumes the 10th unit of X commodity mango, he may derive only 5 utils. So this is because of the operation of the law of diminishing marginal utility. As far as the commodity Y is concerned, if a consumer consumes the first unit of Y commodity, let us assume as orange, he may derive only 38 utils. When he consumes the second unit of orange, he derives only 36. When he consumes the third unit of Y commodity, he may derive only 32 utils. So the marginal utility goes on declining when he consumes more and more of the Y commodity. So for instance, when the consumer consumes the 10th unit of Y commodity, he may derive only 1 utils. So this is about based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. At the same time, now the question is that we have a limited resource. That resource is named as money. That money can be put to different alternative uses. So by means of allocating properly the scarce resource among the 2 or 3 commodities, so we have to maximize the satisfaction. So the consumer aims to maximize the satisfaction by means of allocating the scarce resources money among the X and Y commodity in such a manner that to equalize the marginal utilities. So here let us assume that the price of the 2 commodities are constant. So here the table number 1, here there are money units spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we can assume as first rupee, second rupee, third rupee, or first 10 rupees, second 10 rupees, or third 10 rupees, fourth 10 rupees. So here first unit of money we are going to spend on X commodity because 50 utils is greater than the 38 utils. The second unit of rupee is also going to be spent on X commodity because the 45 is greater than 38. The third unit of money or rupee is going to be spent on commodity S because 40 is greater than 38. So this means the 3 units, the first 3 units of money is going to be spent among the purchase of X commodity. But as far as the 4th unit is concerned, the 4th unit of money is going to be consumed. So the consumer is going to consume the Y commodity. So the fourth rupee will be spent on the first unit of Y commodity. The fifth rupee will also be spent on the purchase of Y commodity. Thereafter, the 32 utils, as because of this the consumer is going to purchase the fourth unit of commodity X. So the sixth unit of rupee will be spent on commodity X. So the last unit spent on both the commodities X and Y should be equal, that is 25 and 25. So this means the consumer is going to purchase 6 units of X commodity and 4 units of Y commodity. So here, by means of computing the 50 plus 45 plus 40 plus 35 plus 30 plus 25 is equal to 225 utils. So here 38 plus 36 plus 32 plus 25 is equal to 131. So 225 plus 131 is equal to 356 utils. So no other combination. So among the X and Y commodity will not yield more than 356 utils. So according to definition, if a person has a thing, the thing means money. So money is a limited resources, scarce resources. So the money can be put to different alternative uses. So we are going to allocate the money in such a manner so as to maximize the satisfaction. So when a person suppose enter into a hotel, he may be consuming first of all 2 idlis. So after consuming the 2 idlis, he may choose the first chapati. After consuming the first chapati, he may again come to the third idlis. After consuming idli, he may choose or he may consume dosa. So after consuming the dosa, he may consume buri. Again, he may come to the consumption of idli. So this is because of the law of equimarginal utility. So the person or a consumer aims to allocate the scarce resource money among the different commodities in such a manner to equalize the marginal utilities. So if it had a greater marginal utility is one use than another means, he would gain by taking away some of it from the second use and applying it to the first. So here, table number 2. Here let us assume the price of the X and Y commodity is different. Here let us assume the price of X is equal to rupees 2. The price of Y is equal to rupees 3. At the same time here, we have to, if the price is different means, we have to divide the marginal utility of X by price of X. The marginal utility of Y by price of Y is equal to marginal utility of money or expenditure. So the marginal utility of money or expenditure is symbolically identified as MU of M is equal to MU of X by price of X is equal to MU of Y by price of Y. So from the table 2, when a consumer consumes the first unit of a commodity, so here the MU of X is 20. When he purchases the second unit of a commodity, 18 is the marginal utility which he may derive from the commodity X. So when a consumer consumes more and more of X commodity, the marginal utility goes on declining. So as a consequence of this, like this, when we take into account of the marginal utility of Y, when a consumer prefers the first unit of Y commodity, the total utility is 24. So thereafter the marginal utility goes on declining, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9. So this is because of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So here the price is rupees 2. Here the price is rupees 3. So here Under the table number 1, we have assumed that the price of the X and Y commodity is same. So as a consequence of this, there is no need for division of MU of X by price of X. But here, under the table number 2, the price of X is equal to rupees 2. The price of Y is equal to rupees 3. So we have to divide the MU of X by price of X. MU of Y by price of Y. So 20 by 2 is equal to 10. 18 by 2 is equal to 9. So here the 18 refers to the marginal utility of X commodity. The 2 refers to the price of X. So 16 by 2 is equal to 8. 14 by 2 is equal to 7. 12 by 2 is equal to 6. 10 by 2 is equal to 5. Here 24 by 3. The 3 refers to the price of Y. So here the 24 refers to the marginal utility of Y. So here when a consumer consumes the second unit of Y commodity, he may derive 21 by 3 is equal to 7. From the third, 18 by 3 is equal to 6. 15 by 3 is equal to 5. 12 by 3 is equal to 4. 9 by 3 is equal to 3. So from the table number 3, it is clear that a consumer is going to choose the first unit of X commodity because 10 is greater than 8. He will choose the second unit of X commodity because 9 is greater than 8. So he will be purchasing the third unit of X commodity. So let us assume the consumer has rupees. Let us assume the consumer has rupees 24 with him. He is going to allocate rupees 24 among the X and Y commodity. So the question arises how the consumer is going to allocate rupees 24, the limited income, the scarce income among both the X and Y commodity. So here first 3 choices. He is going to concentrate on the purchase of X commodity because 10, 9, 8. So after that the consumer will be choosing the first unit of Y commodity. Thereafter the consumer will be choosing the second unit of Y commodity. So here then he will be choosing the X commodity. So here the consumer is going to purchase 6 units of X commodity and 4 units of Y commodity. Here the marginal utility which he derives from the last unit of the X commodity which he purchases equals the marginal utility which he derived from the 4th unit of Y commodity. So this means he is going to purchase 6 units of X commodity and 4 units of Y commodity. So the consumer has rupees 24. Out of 24, the consumer is going to purchase 6 units of X. This means 6 into rupees 2 is equal to 12. When a consumer consumes 4 units of Y commodity, 4 into rupees 3 is equal to 12. So this means out of rupees 24, he is going to allocate 12 rupees on X commodity and 12 rupees on Y commodity. So please look into the graph consumer's equilibrium. So this is MU of X by price of X, MU of Y by price of Y. First of all, the quantities are measured along the OX axis. The marginal utility of money or expenditure is measured along the OY axis. The marginal utility curve slopes downward from left to right. So the marginal utility of money is constant. So this is the MU of M. So MU of M refers to the marginal utility of money or expenditure is constant. It is horizontal line. So the MU of M is constant and it is equivalent to that is when a consumer purchases OH level of X commodity and the OY level of Y commodity, the MU of M is equivalent to that. So MU of M is constant when the consumer purchases OH level of X and OY level of Y commodity. So here the Marshall says that the income of the consumer should remain constant. The most important assumption of the law of the law of equimarginal utility is none other than the utility remains equal for all persons. The marginal utility of the money is constant. The marginal utility of money is constant. So the income of the consumer remains constant. So the consumer have the ability to weigh the utilities of the commodities. So this law assumes that the people or the consumer have the ability to weigh the utilities of different commodities. They are rational consumers. They know how to allocate the income, the scarce resources among the various commodities. This law is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. So here, as far as the criticism is concerned, the most important theory in the whole world which applies to the day-to-day life is law of equimarginal utility. So by means of equimarginal utility, the consumer can allocate his income in a rational manner by means of which it is possible to maximize the satisfaction. The producer can allocate his scarce resources by means of which it is possible to maximize his optimum level of output. So the land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, 4 factors of production. So by means of combining the factors of production, by means of allocating the scarce resources, the producer can maximize the optimum level of output, maximize the level of output. So when we take into account of the distribution also, it is possible to, that is to reward. So distribution of reward among the factors of production is a vital, important, dominant thing. So by means of the law of equimarginal utility is possible to allocate. It is possible to allocate the earnings between the savings and consumption. The government can allocate the scarce revenue among the various plans and programs in such a manner so as to equalize the welfare, social welfare. So likewise, by means of equating the MU, the government can equalize the social welfare by means of which the government can plan properly the scarce revenue to be allocated among the various plans. So at the same time, the consumer can also allocate the expenditure of time. So daily we are having 24 hours. So a consumer or a person has to allocate the 24 hours in such a manner so as to secure the maximum possible satisfaction. So as far as the criticism is concerned, so this theory assumes that the people have the ability to calculate the actual utilities, derived from the different commodities. But in the real world situation, the consumers is not a rational consumer. It is very difficult for a consumer to calculate or compute the actual utility which he may derive from the different commodities. This law assumes that this law is applicable only in case of the smaller units. So the commodities should be split up into smaller commodities, smaller units. It is not applicable for the larger units such as the car, fridge or the bureau, etc. So this theory assumes that it is possible for the commodity which can be split up into several small units. It is not applicable for the larger units. The customs, patience and ignorance of the price prevailing impede the operation of the law. The marginal utility of money is constant according to this law of diminishing marginal utility, but in the real world situation. The marginal utility of the richer section of people is lesser when compared to the poorer section of the people. The richer section of the people gives lesser importance to the additional units of money earned. The poorer section of the people gives greater or significant importance to the additional units of the commodity. The utility is equal for all persons. The theory assumes that utility can be measured. The utility equals for all person. But in the real world situation, the real life, the utility differs from person to person, place to place, and time to time. Finally, the utility is assumed as a, so each and every commodity is an independent nature. But in case of real life, the commodities or goods are either substitutes or complementary. So fine, thank you.